Hello again, everyone. This is Game Collector, and welcome to my year-end character review of sorts. It's, again, if you have seen the 2011 to 2012 review of Soundwave, which will be posted right below in the description, this is the 2012 to 2013 character review of Shockwave. Sadly, I do not have G1 Shockwave at all. This is very obvious. And I am using Shockblast because, in a sense, he is Shockwave. Only a little bit. Little tiny insignificant bit. In Japan, all of these guys are, oh, I'm not sure about him, but they're, or him, but I know, or him. I know he's called Laserwave, and Laserwave was Shockwave's Generation 1 Japanese name, so whatever. And Shockblast is the only one I have not reviewed. Anyone who's stuck around this long should remember him. This was my very first review ever. Somewhere in either June or July of 2009. No, wait. 2011. Derp. Why did I say 9? Because I'm stupid, that's why. But, all in all, Shockwave is a very, well, he's very logical, does all the talking. You should know all of this, for those who know Transformers G1 especially. But as of the update, they've made him into a mad scientist. Like, literally, he's crazy. Although, I haven't played Fall of Cybertron yet, nor do I actually own it to play it. He's voiced by Steve Bloom. Although, in the GameStop War for Cybertron commercial, he's voiced by Corey Burton. Which kind of made me the breaking point to get him, to get that particular version, pre-order version. And I feel stupid because after that they just released all of the pre-order DLC as one giant package. It made me feel dumb. And I just had it. Oh, there it is. I can actually show off the light piping of all of their singular eyes. Is it singular eye or singular eyes since I'm talking about a plural? I don't know. Since I'm talking about one eye in a plural manner, yeah, it would be singular eyes. And yes, I do have the undisguised Shockwave, but if you remember the animated Shockwave review, I'm not going to put him into robot mode because his robot mode sucks. This one, however, has a perfect robot mode that does not suck. Eh. Now, this one actually has, he's the only one amongst all of the Shockwaves I own, and aside from G1 Shockwave, who actually has lights. Well, he doesn't have lights, but he does have sound. I really don't want to fire it off, so... Yeah, that does get pretty damn obnoxious after a while. And no, I'm not going to equip him with anything because this isn't a review. This is just a look back of sorts. Oh, yeah. This Shockwave was also voiced by Corey Burton. Granted, he also turned into a version of Long Arm. Not that anyone really cares. Just looking back, of course, at this one, because it was my very first review on YouTube ever. And I might as well post links to this guy's review as well. Or just all of them except him, because he doesn't have one. Although you can bet when he gets his review, he will have a link to this. Also, he's the only one of these batch who is an actual psychopath. I'm serious. He's a mad doctor, he's a a logical spy guy, and he's a psychopath killer. Or sociopath. I don't care. He gets crushed. That's how I told you. Spoilers. He gets stepped on. By who? I forgot. I forgot exactly how he dies, but he gets squished. That's all you need to know. And it was the Energon series, and we all remember that garbage. And we would really like to forget it. Well, all in all, I can't exactly say Shockwave is my super favorite. He is a G1 character after all, which kind of puts him up there. And I think he is in the Transformers Hall of Fame. I haven't done my research because I had to do this right after another video, and usually right after I do a video, my throat is all dry from all the talking like I'm doing right now. But no, this is and it isn't like the Soundwave review, mostly because I don't have as many Shockwave toys. You can bet if they make an actual Prime Shockwave, I'll get him. In Japan, this passes for Prime Shockwave. All they do is give him a gun arm that turns into a beetle. That still comes off really easily. I don't know how to fix it. Get back on there. Get back on there. You're on camera. Huh. I've also been talking a long time, so there's that. Yeah, the little spring action in his arm works. You already saw the light piping. I'm just not sure what else to say. Because I really don't remember what I did for the last one. But I'm just going to keep talking and try to stay on the subject of Shockwave. Again, now if you've actually seen Bark Up the Moon, he doesn't talk. All he does is roar or snarl. And his noises are made by Frank Welker. Considering this, Corey Burton was the voice of Megatron for Transformers Animated, and Frank Welker was the voice of Shockwave for the movies. They swapped places. But who cares? Because it's still pretty awesome. Yeah, Shockwave is also responsible, in the retcons at least, for the creation of the Dinobots. While this is a little bit off subject on Shockwave, it does kind of go into some of his new modernized backstory. The Dinobots were originally a group of Autobots on Cybertron, not dinosaurs that Wheeljack suddenly decided to build because, hey, dinosaurs! No. These guys were basically the Autobot commando elites, or like ODSTs or something. You throw them in, stuff gets blown up, and then they leave with everything in pieces. They were the Dinobots. Not D-I-N-O, but D-Y-N-O. because they was good at making explosions. Anyway, Shockwave abducted them and was testing out space bridge technology, and he stumbled upon planet Earth and its inhabitants, the big old dinosaurs, and he decided to, well, make Dinobots with an I, not a Y. This kind of worked in his favor and didn't. It made them dumber and stronger, but it made them dumber and stronger. So they wouldn't listen to him, and they were blowing things up even worse. Also finding that portal to Earth inspired him to create the Insecticons. Yes, Shockwave created the Insecticons. At least in the new one. Well, new continuity anyway. Not that frickin' aligned continuity, and you all should know how I feel about that from his review. The unaligned continuity is more like it. Nothing makes any sense, and none of the continuity links up, and there are plot holes everywhere. But enough ranting about that. So anyway, this guy goes and makes the Dinobots and the Insecticons. One is a group made in enormous masses, and the other one is a small group that blows the crap out of everything. Big surprise. Now, moving on here. I forgot exactly how he was important to the story, other than showing up out of what used to be Chernobyl, and then growling like a psycho and running away, and then showing up at the end of the movie. He has a backstory somehow on his box. I don't have it with me, and I don't exactly remember any of it anyway, because that's how little impact that movie had. And I'm sure you're all aware there's going to be a fourth movie. And I'm sure Michael Bay will screw that one up too. Supposedly there's going to be a fifth and sixth movie without Michael Bay, but I'm sure those are lies, and he'll be there to screw that up too. Because Michael Bay can't direct worth crap. Moving on. We have this one. And yeah, we're kind of doing this backwards. He was a Decepticon intelligence officer disguised as an Autobot. Both voiced by Corey Burton. And you've already seen his gimmick in his video. Again, I will be posting links for each of their individual reviews on this video when it goes up. Anyway, he, what did he do? Sorry for all the, bridge words here, but, like I said, my mind isn't exactly running at top speed right now. He infiltrated the Autobot boot camp, and he framed Wasp. He framed him real good. And then he became Long Arm Prime, while still worked as an intelligence officer for the Autobots, and was feeding information to Megatron the whole time. Near the end of the series, he was eventually found out, and he turned purple. I have the toy, but as I said, I'm not going to change his transform him, because his robot mode is really wibbly and it sucks when compared to the first mass release default colors one. And this guy is not Shockwave at all. He's Shockblast. He's crazy. He kills people a lot. Well, kills Autobots a lot. He turns into a tank that doesn't really look all that much like a tank, and a giant flying satellite dish. So the Decepticons can get the best reception for their TVs. That's a lie. He turns into another spy satellite with a giant honking gun arm. And he's also, well, 2 out of 4 have giant hulking gun arms on the right side. 1 out of 4 doesn't. And 1 out of 4 has no arm at all. Speaking of which, this guy doesn't really have a hand. It's more like a claw. But again, that will all be brought up in his individual review. This is a character synopsis of sorts. I do dig the green eye, though. This is the closest one to the yellow glowing eye that I have on any Shockwave figure. Sorry, have to catch my breath a little bit. I'm talking a lot, and I'm kind of talking a little fast. Whew! Anyway, Wing Dagger was in charge of watching him. Did a lousy job. He got out and just started killing everything. Wing Dagger is eventually upgraded into Wing Saber, and his toy sucks, but I'll get to him too when I get onto the Transformer, Energon, Armada, and Cybertron reviews, but not in that order. Pardon me. Either way, this guy was a representation of Shockwave. In America, they couldn't call him Shockwave because the name was copyrighted at the time. They have the copyright back, obviously, because 3 out of 4 of them have the name. And he has an Energon chip, and there's only one Terracon from Energon who has Energon weapons the same color as him, and that would be... I forgot his name, but it's the white hawk-looking one, or white condor-ish looking one. The little boomerang blades can attach here or on his arm, and the little gem fits right up here on his shoulder. But you will actually see those in his review, along with a few other things that I'm not going to show off right now. He goes back over there. And again, all he really cared about was overthrowing Megatron and being a complete douchebag. And just trying to wreck all the things. He did a terrible job because at the end he got stepped on. The end. I think it was either Superion or Omega Supreme who stepped on him. Either way, he got stepped on and he wasn't coming back ever. He didn't exactly... although he did have cunning, it was more like... he was essentially the Starscream of Energon, because Starscream was, dare I say it, loyal and obedient? Starscream more or less acted like the first lieutenant he was supposed to be in that series. This guy was the Starscream of the actual series, which boggles the mind. And 3 out of 4 of them have that unique little chest piece there. And just to address this, because I'm sure you are thinking about it at the time, thinking about this, you can see my TV again and part of my shelf, because if I tried to use my backdrop, I wouldn't be able to fit all of these figures here at once. So you just get the one corner covered. And you get to see the TV again for... God, I don't remember when I first implemented the backdrop, but I think it was earlier this year. So, here we are, the end of 2012. I've done over a year's worth of reviews. And for the first time in a long time, you actually get to see movie Shockwave. Along with Fall of Cybertron Shockwave and Energon Shockwave and that guy. Now, they do have another Shockwave, or Shockblast, that I do not own, and that would be Alternator Shockwave. I'm just going to keep calling him that because, yes, that's who he's supposed to be. Alternator Shockwave basically turned, I don't remember if it was a Mazda. I think it was a Mazda. Or a Honda? I don't remember. Anyway, he turned into a sports car and he had the purple gun arm. And the reason I don't have him is because I took a Darth Vader action figure instead. Because Darth Vader. I didn't have a Darth Vader action figure that was any good. But I'm getting off topic here. I'm not really too keen on the Alternator's storyline either. I only have 2 alternators, and it's Optimus Prime and that other guy. Not Hot Shot. Trax. I have Trax. And he's blue. But this isn't his review right now. Hoy. I'm sorry for this long gap. It's just that it's been an entire year. I've been doing this for a while, albeit not all that successfully. And I have a whole bunch of Shockwaves on display. Well, in the next few reviews, I will be getting back to Transformers Prime. And after that, you will be getting you'll be getting in February Import Month, formerly known as Gundam Month, because I've run out of Gundams. Also, I want to cover more than just one line of figures during the February show, and I do have quite a few things to show off. And then in the coming months afterward, you'll get another 5-part, well, technically 6-part review, or 10-part review of two guest talks who look very similar to one another, but are certainly not the same character, even if they are based on one another. And that's all I have for next year, and it's been a real good run. I'll see you all come January. Later.